bad situations.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. 25 yards that time.
48. That was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the rookie, Jalen Johnson. So here are the Bucs now to take over for the first time. Leading them out, the number 6 overall pick back in April from Oregon, it's Justin Herbert.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
It's a gain of 9.
The numbers for McCaffrey last week. 16 carries, 80 yards.
And when he went over 1,000 yards last week, you know what it did for their offense? It gave them a true identity because everyone's going to talk about this. The offensive line's going to take pride in it. Of course, the guy carrying the football will. But how about the coaching staff? When they go in and talk contracts, when they talk to reporters, hey, we had a 1,000-yard rusher this year. That means something in today's NFL.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels. Because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
They'll try the air now with Herbert. And that throw intercepted. It's Chris Harris, the Pro Bowl corner. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
First carry for Nick Chubb. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Off of play action. Here's Stafford. On the move to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Oh, and after the sack, he's still down on the field. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. And the Bucs with an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Stafford. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. Back to return it, Christian McCaffrey. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds.
28-yard line.
With the Bucs offense making their way back out on the field, let's take a look at the playoff picture, Charles, coming into the weekend in the NFC.
And as we take a look at the playoff picture, certainly still a lot of jostling to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting. These last few weeks, a lot to play for.
So much to play for, and remember, 7 teams in each conference go to the playoffs instead of 6. And not to mention, remember when the league made that move a few seasons ago to put divisional games at the end of the year? So you get to week 16 and 17, you're playing for playoff spots, and you're playing divisional games. Couldn't be more exciting than that.
On second down, here's Herbert. Gets this to his running back. It's Christian McCaffrey. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
Complete.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. The linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Complete to Christian McCaffrey. A gain of 7.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Herbert. He'll find the rookie from Oklahoma, CeeDee Lamb. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 44-yard line.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Herbert throwing again. Able to hit his target, Lamb. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. Rookie to rookie on the hookup there, and it's a first down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player. You threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
And it brings up 3rd down.
They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
No gain on the...
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake? Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Darius Leonard, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Another try after the first down sack. Stafford. This is Shenault on the receiving end. Stafford. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down.
That's a good bounce back play right there after taking a sack on first down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a 3rd and short yardage call. Through the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Darius Leonard make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed in this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. The Falcons send out their punter, standing just outside his own goal line. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45, and the Bucs will get ready to go on offense.
At their own 44-yard line.
Herbert setting up to throw on first down. A short throw caught by Andrews. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 3 yards the gain there, second down. Second quarter now, and it's Buccaneer football as they've got it 2nd and 7. Shotgun handoff now to McCaffrey. He'll get 3 up to midfield.
Number 22.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
From the 50, here's Herbert. He'll find Lamb. That's complete. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And the Falcons grab it. And now off to the races down the right side. And this is going to be brought back. It's a scoop and score for the Falcon TD. And he has great speed, defensive back speed. Once he got it and took off, there was no catching.
And I know every team tells you to hustle no matter what the play, but there was no chance of catching him. Maybe if it had been a defensive tackle running with the ball, but not in this case.
Point after try forthcoming.
Point after.
It's good, and that gives the Falcons a 7-0 lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. Set to return. Here's Raheem Mostert. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30.
At their own 28-yard line.
The Bucs ready to take over once again.
And in just about every game we see, partner, what do we do when we look at the stat sheet? We go right to
the turnover differential.
Without a doubt, because when we see that, that pretty much tells the tale of the game. And I know there's still plenty of time to go, but you've got to take care of the football in order to win it.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Complete.
Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
13 yards. And
now a draw play to McCaffrey.
Number 20.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
Tackle made right at midfield. A gain of 9 brings up 2nd and 1.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Catch made by Slayton. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. That one a first down pickup of 8.
First down, Tampa Bay.
Now a run with McCaffrey. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
McCaffrey. And he's not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Now there's also a flag down, and it's in the area of holding. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. A shotgun snap for Herbert. Finds the open target, Arnold. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down for a nice little gain. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
And it's 3rd down.
Here's Herbert.
He'll get this into the hands of Mostert.
And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. They'll wind up with 17 on that one, but they're still a bit short here for 4th. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just try to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So they'll say no to the 50-yard field goal try. Instead, the offense out there, they're going for it. And Robinson with a big catch. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th.
Well, the field goal attempt was well in hand. They had that, but they decided to go for it.
Now Robinson coughs up the football. It's loose. And the Falcons grab it. And a very good return as he'll take it all the way up to the 40-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Here comes Matthew Stafford now to lead his offense back out there. He has not had the start to this game that he envisions here in the 2nd quarter. He's struggling a little bit. But, hey, they're in the lead right now. So kind of what's going on in his head, do you think, Charles?
I think that's what he has to keep in mind. Winning the ball game is not going the way he wants in terms of his own play. But, oh, yeah, that's right, winning the ball game. So don't press. Don't try and do things outside of what's going on right now. Don't try to increase your game or get yourself right. Just make sure you continue to lead your ball club and keep them moving in the right direction.
Well, they've got that lead so far. 1 interception for him, no touchdown passes. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
3rd and 7.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. Able to complete this to Shenault. And he's going to have a Falcons 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He's exceeded his receiving yards from a week ago, and we're still in the 1st half. It's a 1st down.
That's a play that'll likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Stafford on 1st down. He'll get this to Jake Kumaro. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. 2 minutes on the clock, 2nd quarter, 7-0 ball game.
At the 36-yard line.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Now a throw here on 2nd down, and that's complete. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds.
1st and 10 at the 31.
On 1st down, Stafford here. Connection made with Shenault. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for a first down for the Falcons. And quickly to Kelsey. And he's brought down. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays.
15 more yards.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
They'll give it to Chubb. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Nick Chubb with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Falcons push further out in front. That almost looked too easy, and I think thanks goes to the offensive line for making it look easy.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one. I'm not sure how much everyone understands the preparations that go into a game for an offensive line, because there's a reason that running backs and quarterbacks give them big gifts at the end of the season after a big year. The consistency and the continuity it takes to know each other and execute their blocks is pretty impressive.
Koo able to connect on the extra point, and that'll make the score 14-0. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Mostert now to return. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
The Bucs take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you. This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Second and 10. Here's Herbert once more. A short throw caught by Andrews. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. They get 6. That'll leave him with 3rd and 4. From the gun, Herbert on 3rd down. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Arnold. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. On 1st and 10, Herbert. It fights him off. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. Second interception for him now here in this first half. And you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question, because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on, his teammates are going to check on it, because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half. I mean, that just didn't happen. After the interception, here's Stafford. He's going to drop this underneath to Ingram. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Falcons going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. On 3rd down, it's Nick Chubb. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. 14 seconds, all that's left of this first half as they come up on first down. They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. A 4-receiver look here. 3 out to the left, 1 to the right on 2nd and 8. They'll get this to McCaffrey out of the backfield. So we are at halftime here in Atlanta with the Falcons out in front. As we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We kick off our tour with a good one in the NFC. Carolina heading to Lambeau to take on Green Bay. And it's the Packers who have the lead in that one. Baker Mayfield with a couple of touchdown passes. From there, let's head to the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, to check in on the Broncos. And you can see they trail the visiting Buffalo Bills in that ball game. Matt Ryan with 3 touchdown passes there. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they have the lead over the visiting Seahawks. Keelan Cole, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. A 2-touchdown game, 14-0 the score as we get rolling again here in this second half. Shifts by him and makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start the third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call? Yeah. We'll find out pretty quickly here if they felt like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Down at the 31. It's a gain of 4. And it's 3rd down.
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now as he'll punt it away for the second time. Uses the stiff arm. 43 yards on the punt, return of 4, and the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. And now let's look at the quarterback, Matthew Stafford, in our player spotlight. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? You know, shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much, not if you intend to win.
I know they'd like to erase that video and those 4 sacks that they've seen so far. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Back to the ground, this time with Ingram. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time.
Taken down at the
Tackle coming from the safety, Trey Flowers.
Pickup. Brings up second and
On 2nd and 7. Stafford over the middle. He's got Chenault. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 38-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
On 1st and 10, Stafford. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. He's been a one-man wrecking crew these last couple of plays. This time 18 more and a first down.
Well, we can talk about it like it's just a basic route, but how about the timing on this one? Lined up on the right, runs a deep in route, and how about the throw? Right on the money. Bam, puts it right in there and on his hands. Nice completion, really good pickup.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. From the red zone now, Stafford. And this is caught at the 8. And the Falcons are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line. 11 more on that one and another first down.
Falcons first down. 1st and goal at the 8-yard line.
Again, it's Stafford. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line. 2nd and goal. Stafford looks to throw again. This will be caught at about the 6. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Now we're going to get a timeout. Appears we've got an injured Buccaneer. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. This will be play number 8 on the drive. It's 3rd and goal. To the air again, Stafford. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Laviska Shenault, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons will extend their lead.
Partner, they had a good lead as they went in at the half, and they came out here in the second half and found a way to extend it. I love their consistency. Don't worry about what they said at halftime. This seemed like a team that was ready to play 60 minutes, and while this game is far from over, I love their approach.
Now Younghoe Koo for the extra point. And it is now 21-0. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And the end result, an Atlanta touchdown.
Buccaneers, nothing.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
So out come the Bucs now. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try to figure out what is working, and call more of that.
First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
First down, Buccaneers.
On the ground, McCaffrey. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Justin Herbert looking to throw on 2nd down. Gets this to his running back. It's Christian McCaffrey. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
A 7-yard gain on the play.
From the gun on third down. Herbert. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
They're coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive.
From his own goal line, Stafford. Complete, the tight end, Kelsey. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it second and a foot or so.
14-yard line.
Out of the gun, Stafford.
This is Hamler on the receiving end.
And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. 4 yards the pickup, first down. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Out of the gun, they give to Ingram. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. On 2nd and 11 now. Stafford. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's third.
And incomplete. Jalen Johnson on the coverage.
Off of play action. Here's Stafford. Able to find Deion Kane, complete. And he is going to have a Falcons first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. First target, first catch, and a first down.
Now that's a big pickup right there, and so often we focus on how the quarterback's faking on play action. How about everyone being in on the deal and picking it up?
Second, third levels, you can see them trying to recover. They bit. Worked out offensively. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A run for Nick Chubb. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7.
They run it again with Chubb. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. The Falcons on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. A shotgun snap for Stafford.
Open man, it's Rager. He's got it. And he is going to have a Falcons first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
A nice pickup there, 18 yards, first down Falcons. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. From the gun, it's a run for Ingram. Got some real estate inside the 30. Touchdown, Falcons! Mark Ingram, his 2nd touchdown on the season, and the Falcons will add on to their lead.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
Coup for the extra point.
For the point after.
It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. A 10-play drive that time. Now it's Mark Ingram who caps it off with a touchdown run. Following the touchdown, here's Coup to kick off. Now this will make it into the end zone. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And it's right about this time of the year that you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
It certainly is, because we all know everyone is aiming for that #1 seed. But failing that, because only 2 teams in the NFL get a bye, 1 from each conference, that question becomes who's hot? Who's peaking at the right time as you start the playoffs?
He'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
At the 31-yard line.
A shotgun snap for Herbert. A short throw caught by Andrews. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
And a Buccaneer first down.
Out of the gun, Herbert. Shoves it aside. A short throw caught by Andrews. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
No gain on the play. And it brings up 3rd down.
Herbert throwing again. Looking left side, Andrews with it complete. And he is going to have the Buccaneers first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. To the air again, Herbert. And that incompletion breaks a string of 5 straight connections. And it's 2nd down.
And incomplete. It leads to 2nd and 10.
Throwing again, Herbert, and that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Open man Lamb. It's complete. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. CeeDee Lamb with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Bucs are able to cut in now to that deficit.
Coaches must really like to see that from the quarterback because he's had the interceptions in this game, but they're able to connect on the touchdown pass.
And teammates love to see that because they know that they miss blocks during a game, but they come back and make them later on. They miss tackles, right? They miss making plays, but the spotlight is magnified on your quarterback. And when he stands up to the pressure and comes back and throws a touchdown pass after throwing some picks earlier, they feel great about that guy.
And likewise for him personally, as a rookie quarterback, has to give him more confidence.
Extra point up and good by Folk. And it's now a 28-7 ball game. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And a good job here by the Falcons. Their hands team able to recover it. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground.
And he'll be taken down after a gain of about 8, as that will lead us to the 2-minute warning.
So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. On 2nd down now. It's Ingram, and he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 30-yard line.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still 1st down.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. Following the penalty, Chubb. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine.
Chubb again, the ball carrier.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
So time runs out. It's a victory for the Atlanta Falcons. And it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory as they allowed the 1 touchdown, and that was all she wrote.
Almost want to do the defense chant right now, right? Defense with a couple of claps in there, but no one wants to hear that from me. Let's just talk about how they got it done, though. When you take care of every aspect of the game, shut down the run, control the airways, right? Make sure the quarterback is harassed. This type of performance you get. They can't fashion together any offense, no consistency, and they just took control.
So for Atlanta, it's a 10th win of the year now as they move to 10-4. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Meanwhile, for the Buccaneers, their playoff hopes take a hit as they drop to 7-7. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel up to Detroit to take on the Lions. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.